What is the DSM? The DSM is an acronym for the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. The book is researched and published by the American Psychiatric Association. Its current version is the DSM-5, and it's also been called Psychiatry's Bible. The book's pages are basically written with criteria for all kinds of psychiatric illnesses, from schizophrenia and bipolar disorder to borderline and antisocial personality disorders, and to things like pica, an illness in which a person eats inedible things like toilet paper or hair. It covers diagnostic criteria for addictions like alcoholism, cocaine, and gambling. And as you can see by the book, there's a lot of information in here. It's very practical and it's reliable in therapeutic settings. That being said, the research on mental disorders is undergoing a change from symptom-based research to what is called the research domain criteria, a framework used to understand the basic dimensions of functioning underlying a whole range of behavior. Rather than one illness with specific symptoms, other areas behind the illness also come into play. For example, if a person has problems with anxiety, depression, substance abuse, and suicide, it may not be just a disorder of brain function. One contributor could also be bullying, which we now know affects people well into adulthood. In the 2011 statement from the British Psychological Society to the American Psychiatric Association, the British Psychological Society complained that the sources of psychological suffering in the upcoming DSM-5 were identified as located within individuals and overlooked the undeniable social causation of many such problems, such as, for example, trauma can often lead to borderline personality disorder. Others also complained, stating that the relationships and social conditions were left out of the DSM-5. According to a June 2011 article in the Psychiatric Times, the British Psychological Society, quote, vigorously and convincingly opposed the DSM-5 tendency to turn the expectable reactions to life difficulties into psychiatric illness. The Society for Humanistic Psychology, Division 32 of the American Psychological Association, wrote a 2011 open letter to the DSM-5 task force concerning how lowering diagnostic thresholds could lead to medical explanations being applied to normal experiences. The Society also went as far as setting up a petition to the DSM-5 on iPetitions.com. Later, just before the DSM-5 was released in 2013, the then director of the National Institute of Mental Health, the agency that funds most psychiatric research in the U.S., Thomas Insel, announced in a blog post that the National Institute of Mental Health would no longer support the symptom-based criteria of the DSM. The agency would instead focus its funding on the Research Domain Criteria project in order to transform diagnoses by incorporating genetics, imaging, cognitive science, and other levels of information to lay the foundation for a new classification system. What this means is that, to use depression as an example, each person with depression diagnosis has their own unique reactions to and causes of the illness, including genetics, what they might find in an imaging scan, cognitive testing results, and many other factors that led to and contribute to their current diagnosis. As a result, not everyone can take the same road to recovery. One person may take antidepressants, another may see a therapist for CBT, and another may benefit from owning a pet or a service dog. The big question that remains is, will the DSM disappear? If it can't adapt to new research, then yes it will, but that's not likely to happen. While the research domain criteria remains an ongoing project, the DSM is currently the best tool for assessing mental disorders. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Ryan, and have a great day.